only child, so being away from them has been really difficult. So it's just nice to have some good quality family time.
Oh my gosh, and it's been so long since the last time. So finally you're able to get back there. But I know the situation is like a little bit different there compared to in the Philippines. So what was, aside from seeing your parents, of course, what was like the first thing that you had to do when you came back?
Well, actually, when I arrived in the country itself, I had to undergo a mandatory 15-day quarantine in a hotel.
Yeah.
That was a test talaga. Isang room ka lang for 15 days straight. And even when they deliver your food to your door, you have to wear a mask to open it. It's very, very strict. You're not allowed to go out for any reason whatsoever. I think the hardest part was wala akong view sa bintana ko. It was building. So I had to really put my head out like next to the window to even see the sky. Like I felt like I was in a little cell.
Yeah.
It was all worth it naman. Seeing my parents for the first time, and it was also strange because I saw them in the lobby of a hotel. And I took off my mask for the first time in public. It was the weirdest feeling.
Oh my god, I can't imagine.
It's like back to normal here, as in pre-COVID life dito sa Australia. Kaya sobrang strict naman sila sa borders nila, which gets ko naman because they're reaping the benefits and like they're able to go out and about. So I'm even doing simple things like doing grocery with my parents and going out for breakfast. Now wala akong mask and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh my god, it's the simple things like that talaga. Like not wearing a mask and being able to like eat brunch or like
take it for granted, right? But I'm sure the rest of us, when we finally get to that point in the Philippines, will all be super grateful for doing the simple things.
For sure, super grateful, but also super weird at first. Like, oh my god, pwede ba to? Is this okay? I can super imagine. But that's so nice to hear, nga, na, you know, you're able to spend quality time with your family, especially after being apart for so long, and you're still keeping very busy. So how has it been? Also, like, what else have you been up to recently?
Okay, well, it's been mostly work online since I'm away, but it's been great naman. I think that's really the transition that I've made in kind of my roles and positions that I'm in for the last year and a half, really utilizing social media as a main platform since, you know, lockdown and usually work from home. So it's nothing different naman. But yeah, just been promoting RYF and of course, just being in touch with the rest of my advocacy organizations. And yeah, just doing little tidbits here and there, but mostly online naman. So it's the usual.
Yeah, it is the usual. All the online stuff. I'm really trying to stay connected, even though we're all apart. I think that's everything that we've been trying to do. I mean, we see online naman talaga that, you know, you've been keeping busy. And speaking of, we saw recently, I think I want to congratulate you, of course, for being part of the first ever all-female hosting tandem for Binibining Pilipinas. That's a huge milestone. How does it feel and how excited are you for this?
It's super flattering and it's a huge honor because I feel like I came into Binibini as like a contestant lang. And then I came in again as my farewell to pass over my title of Miss Universe Philippines, and now the next year I'm coming back as a host. So it's wonderful to be given that type of trust and also to be a part of like this historic moment where it's two female hosts, which I think is a really nice thing to be a part of because when you're a candidate on stage, and my co-host Nicole, she's also a former queen and Philippine representative, so we know exactly what those girls are feeling, what it's like to be in their shoes, and so I hope that they would feel more comfortable with us being there because then we can kind of guide them along during the finals night and kind of try and ease their nerves because we know exactly what they're going through.
For sure. And oh my god, when you were just saying your whole journey of kind of like full circle moment for you, I kind of got goosebumps just realizing like, oh my god, I can imagine this is, you know, such a full circle moment for you. Yeah, that's so crazy. So we're so excited to see you host back on Binibining Pilipinas. We can't wait to see you there. But we're also super excited too to talk about your music, since that's also one of the things that you've been keeping busy with. And we know naman that you have, you know, this undeniable confidence on stage, both in pageants and as a performer, and as someone who has grown up surrounded by music. When was the first time you actually knew that you wanted to become an artist and share your own music with others?
Yeah, like you just said, like music has been with me throughout my childhood, but never as like with a vision of, oh, I want to be a singer. Because to be honest, I couldn't belt, and I still am not a great belter. And I always thought that was like what you needed to be a good singer.
Yeah,
you know? Like when you watch like singing shows on TV and they're like belting, and then you know what I mean. So I just had that perception of being an artist. I was like, oh, that's really not me. I can't do that. You need to hire me. But then when I was 18 years old, I had come up with an idea because I was living away from home for the first time. It was my first year like living away from my parents, trying to do my whole adult life. I came up with an idea for Mother's Day to record 4 different song covers for my mom in an actual studio. Because before that, you know, like when you're younger and you're like trying to like sing and record yourself on your phone, and I just thought it sounded terrible. So I was like, I'm not a singer. But then I recorded in a studio these 4 songs, and then when I first heard my voice back through the speakers, I was like,
oh, okay.
Fairness need. So that was kind of a moment that I was like, oh, I actually sound okay. Like, and of course, my style of song and singing has never been like a beat-it queen. Like, I've never been a belter. It's really not my style, but that's just kind of my first moment that really sticks out to me, that I had a little nudge of confidence, like, oh, maybe I could do something with this. So yeah.
I love that. I love that you went diretso sa studio for your gift for your mom. From room to studio talaga, diretso talaga.
Kasi sa mind ko, only my mom and dad would hear that. Like, no one else in the world needed to hear that. So if it turned out horrible, you know, parents they'll love it either way.
Yeah, that's true. They love the effort. They love the effort. Yeah, no matter what it sounds like, they'll be like, oh, you're so galing, anak. No, but I can imagine. Your mom was super touched by that gift of yours. So I can imagine too, like, that was like what you said, one of the moments you were like, oh, I could probably do something with this. And now that you're kind of like down the line of really owning your whole singer self, which we love so much, as a singer and as an artist, do you have any kind of like local and international influences too that really help you with your music too?
Oh, I'm constantly inspired, to be honest. Like, if you were to look at my playlist, like, I jump around everywhere, like, from all generations. And I think it's a reflection of when I was growing up. So my dad's a little bit older than my mom. So he was born in the 40s. My mom was born in the 60s. I'm born in the 90s. So, like, all throughout my childhood, we had all these different music, like, playing. So that's the same with me now. Like, I'm inspired by oldies such as Ella Fitzgerald and even Elvis and like Etta James, and then even modern Dua Lipa and Millie Sand.
Yeah,
it's like it's all around the place, to be honest. So people are like, what do you listen to? And I was like, everything. But I really resonate with singer-songwriters. I seem to just gravitate towards them, even if I don't know that they were the ones that wrote their song. It's like usually my favorites, it's them who wrote it. And I think that there's just this type of vulnerability and authenticity that comes through when an artist is able to create something out of their own personal experience, or maybe an experience that they've resonated with or connected with, and then put that in a song. So as an artist, one that's growing and trying to just like learn the ropes a little bit, that's something that I would love to do, that is to come in with my own experiences and be a songwriter and hopefully use music to storytell, because that's just what I gravitate towards.
Oh, and the music is such a great way to really touch others through, of course, music, but also storytelling. I mean, that's one of the things that we constantly lean on, especially during the hard times, like in the past.
Such a vulnerable position to be in as an artist, because like when you create something so personal, like you write your own song and then it's yours, right? And you give it to the world, and the world's able to just like pick it apart or that's a very vulnerable thing to do.
That is, and it's kind of scary, like if you think about it, because it's like a piece of yourself out there for other people to kind of like consume. So that is such an interesting way to look at it. So for that, like Catriona, how are you ready to kind of like really put yourself out there in that aspect?
Well, I don't know if I'll ever be ready, because I mean, like we're just talking about putting like out a diary entry, you know what I mean? Like it's your own music, and that's what I hope to do. want to do, because I feel like I would love to share to my audiences who I am as an artist, because people know me as, you know, Miss Universe, and, you know, me being an advocate and a spokesperson, and I feel like me as an artist is different than that, and I would love to allow people to see the human side of me, because I know that being a beauty queen isn't the most relatable thing, but, you know, showing like my human experiences, or like my experiences in love, or, you know, in moments that I've been really sad, or moments that I've been really encouraged. Like, I would love to put out music that really tells stories, and that are stories of people that I know that have really touched me, because yeah, it gives another aspect for people to come to know me, and that for me is exciting.
Yeah, I feel like now I'm so excited for the time when you actually are able to, you know, give us like that piece of yourself too, like that piece of your life. I mean, that would be so great, so we could get to know you even more and all the feelings you might have. I mean, it could be a little bit scary, but I'm sure a lot of people are so excited and would love to hear that from you. And I'm sure like that's something different from pageantry, like you said, like with Miss Universe, it's not as relatable to everyone. But with music, it's something that people can really relate to. So from transitioning from pageantry to music, were there certain challenges that you had to face as a recording artist, or like as a musician or a performer?
I think it's the pressure that I put on myself. Like, I feel pressure to prove myself in this arena, because I know that I've been given a lot of opportunity because I'm a Miss Universe, and because, you know, I have that kind of, you know, following and all that kind of thing. But I really do have music in my heart that I really want to pursue it in a proper way as an artist, and not just a beauty queen who's given the opportunity to sing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah, for sure.
That's why I am so meticulous. I'm practically meticulous with everything I do, to be honest. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Yeah,
I love it.
So the same is with my music. Like, that's the pressure that I put on myself. Like, I need to earn my place here. I need to earn the title of being a singer and an artist. So that's, I guess, a challenge that I put on myself, which is great because it makes me push myself. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. It's like the best motivator, but also sometimes really difficult being your own like critic. I can imagine it's a lot. But seeing the way that you've been, you know, as a performer and as a singer so far, we stand this part of your life. We love all of the performances you've done so far. And now that you're really forming yourself as an artist, what kind of artist do you imagine yourself to be?
Oh, well, I love performing for people, but I don't consider myself like a dancer, entertainer type of person. I'm a terrible dancer. Put it out there. Just don't shoot it.
Your human side, it's okay.
Like, nothing. No talent there. I really enjoy, even me as a part of an audience, I love watching intimate like performances with just maybe acoustics or an acoustic band setup where the emphasis is really on the lyric and on the performance. And I feel like I would love to be that type of artist. So yeah, I'm not so much about, you know, the performing aspect, but I just would love to be able to have those type of opportunities to connect with a real audience, because when you're able to really connect face to face. But yeah, I guess that's the kind of performer that I would like to be.
Yes, we can't wait. I mean, obviously, a lot of people can't wait to see you, of course, sing and, of course, perform in front of everyone. And we can't wait to see you grow, too, as an artist, especially with everything that you've been putting out. And speaking of, let's talk about RYF, or Raise Your Flag. We're so excited that you released your rendition of the song. But before we talk about your rendition, I mean, Raise Your Flag was obviously inspired by your own words at Miss Universe 2018. So how does it feel to kind of have that moment in your life immortalized through the song?
Oh, it's so cool. Like, the first time that I caught wind of this song, I was still reigning in 2019. And Sir Jonathan Manalo, who was the writer and composer of the song, as well as Trish and Denise, they actually approached me and were like, well, we'd love you to sing it. for your homecoming concert to happen in February in 2019. And I got so excited because it was just such a big deal for me that they had taken things that I'd said throughout my journey that were really like personal statements or, you know, just things that I had sentiment about, and they created this song about it. And I hadn't yet heard it, but the idea really like excited me. And the Miss Universe organization said no, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, because of course, like they're my manager for my whole year, right? And I trust in them to manage me. And then they said no to that opportunity, so I was just like, oh, okay. And then what, you know, a great thing happened, like Casey and Nico were able to give such life and oomph to the song, and that was the first time I heard it at my homecoming parade. And I just was like, wow, I'm so flattered. Like, that was so cool to have like these incredibly talented local artists performing a song that was inspired by me. Like, it was a huge honor, and it was crazy. And I just thought that would be it. That was like the life of Raise Your Flag, you know?
Yeah.
And then when I finished my reign in 2020, Sir Jonathan Manalo approached me again and was like, would you like to record your own version? And I was like, because I really didn't think I would be given the opportunity to, because it felt like it wasn't for me. Okay, and I'm a believer that things happen for a reason. So
yeah, for sure.
I was like, oh, it's not for me. But I ended up recording it. I tweaked a few lines, and we recorded it in Feb of 2020. So it's been sitting there for a while.
Wow, it has been so long.
Yeah, so it was meant to come out last year, but with the pandemic and everything that happened, it just didn't happen the way that we thought it would. But I feel, again, there's a right time for everything, and I still feel like the message of RYF is just as relevant today as it would have been a year ago. And I'm so proud to release it finally with this whole personal attachment that I have to this song, and be able to interpret it in my own ways has really been quite special.
And it's been quite the journey for you. I mean, like with the whole wanting to do it in the start and then not being able to do it and then having to do it again. I mean, like, amazing. Like, everything does happen for a reason, and it's crazy how the opportunity was able to present itself once again to you in the right time. Yeah. So a lot of people love RYF. I mean, like you said, you also added like a few lines, you made your own interpretation, made a few tweaks here and there. So can you tell us more about the process and the experience of actually creating your rendition of RYF?
It was actually quite difficult because I loved the first version so much. Yeah. It was so good, and I still really, really love it. And so then I was like, okay, how am I going to come in now? Yeah. Make it my own, but I kind of encouraged myself, like, this song was inspired by my journey, so like, how is my interpretation going to give it that personality that really is my own? So some of the lyrics I changed, just tweaked them really, because a lot of it really is based off what I said. So it just felt right to me to say a certain thing here, or to tweak it a little bit there, to kind of reflect really where I'm coming from as an individual who has actually walked out the journey that inspired the song. And then the recording was done in one session. It was super quick. And yeah, it turned out the way it was. Actually, I was really motivated. I had this vision for the song in terms of a video. And I haven't been able to do it because of the restrictions and everything, but I would love to. Because that's kind of how I am. I'm really visual. So before I even saw the song as a performance or a vocal piece, I actually saw it as like a film, like a music video film.
Wow.
So fingers crossed that is able to come together. We're still figuring out if that's actually feasible, considering all the restrictions and everything that are still in place. But I would love to offer my vision in that way to the song, because vocally I've given my heart and my personal interpretation of it, but I have a vision for RYF which really goes hand in hand to what the song means to me, because I know that it found its footing and its first definition in my Miss Universe journey as a Filipino representative. I mean, that's the main connotation of Raise Your Flag. But the song for me has really grown to mean so much more than that. And RYF, Raise Your Flag, standing for something, standing for someone. Like, what do you stand for, and who are you going to do it for? So I have a whole vision for that. But let's see if it happens.
I love that you have this whole visual already like planned for it, and something that you really want to like achieve with like you said, you know, you're the most like meticulous person when it comes to the stuff that you do. So we're so excited too for when the music video does come to life. Hopefully, we are keeping our fingers crossed. We are manifesting for you, Catriona, that this will happen. So that's super exciting. We can't wait to see the music video, but we love the song. So many people in our comments are saying that they resonate so much with the song. It means a lot to them, especially with, you know, everything that's been going on in the past year. So how does it feel for you, Catriona, that, you know, the song is finally out, your rendition is out, and so many people can relate to it, and it's something that they really anchor themselves with?
Oh, it's so touching again and fulfilling in such a way, because that's the power of music, and that's why I love music so much, because it allows people to connect and makes people feel a certain emotion. And with RYF, it is a feeling of encouragement. It's a call to action, and I love that people are resonating with that, whether it be in their own personal thing that they're going through, maybe in their life, a struggle or a challenge, or maybe in the viewpoint of what's happening in the world, or maybe in their community, or in the aspect of it's Pride Month, or it's Independence Month. Like, RYF is able to lend its message to all of these different facets, and that's what I love so much about it. And that's why, you know, making the transition from being a title holder and an advocate to putting out RYF was really not a big transition, because it's just putting out a message that I believe in, but this time in the form of music.
Yeah. Oh, that is such a great point. Like, the medium is just different, but the messaging is kind of the same, which I think is so cool. And you being able to do that just goes to show that, you know, like, you can really carry out these messages in different aspects of your life. So I feel like what you said, RYF can be, it can like be misread too as not really misread, but it can be something that, you know, is a little bit abstract. People will be like, oh, like it's very, it's something
or
that's
literal.
Very literal. It's a very literal thing. But how is RYF something that we can really apply to our lives, maybe even in your life?
Well, it's really like what is achievable for you in your sphere of influence. Maybe it's you witness someone saying something that's stigmatized, and you maybe want to step in and be like, actually, let me just share what I feel about this. Let's have a conversation about it. Or maybe it can be like you reaching out to your community center or an organization to volunteer, or to maybe donate, or maybe even give groceries to a community pantry, or it can even be being proud of who you are and what you stand for, and hopefully trying to encourage someone else to be themselves and to be proud. You know, it's a call to action, and it is placed in the mindset of, I'm doing this action so that someone else can, or that someone else sees, or that someone else hears. It's an action of it's like a giving action. That's the call to action in our way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally get what you mean. It's kind of like raising our own flags, meaning like in the way that we can, like what you said, no matter what flag that is.
What do you stand for, and how can you raise that voice, raise what you stand for, raise that person up?
Yeah, definitely. And especially with everything that we've been going through in the past year, and not just in the Philippines, but all around the world, I think this is such an important message that we all have to remind ourselves. And RYF, like the song, is such a great way to put it out there too. And so many people are so so excited, including myself, that you
Thank
put out
you.
RYF, and we love it so much. And we know that, you know, so much has changed since the time you uttered those words, raise your flag, at Miss Universe. So much has changed since then. So for you, Catriona, what has been the biggest and best change you've experienced so far since then?
Oh, that's a hard question because literally my life like changed.
Yeah.
So much. Well, I guess one of the best things that happen as a result of the time that's passed in between is that I've been given the opportunity to expand my platforms in such a way because even though I am putting out music and even though I'm a title holder, like the most fulfilling work that I've done as in this journey is really my community work or working with different organizations. Like that is fulfilling for me, Catriona, as a human, not as a queen or whatever. So that's the work that's changed my life. It's the work that led me to pageantry in the first place, and it's the work that really has sustained me through the season of the pandemic because at the beginning and seeing what everyone was going through and acknowledging completely that I'm in a very privileged position to, you know, have a roof over my head and to know where my food is coming from and to be able to stock up on food. You know, I know a lot of Filipino families and individuals did not have that opportunity during the pandemic. And so I had this overwhelming feeling of hopelessness. Like, what on earth can I do? I feel so useless in this position. Like, you want to help, but how can you? So I put all my efforts last year and the beginning of this year into, you know, plugging into the community and giving what I could and doing what I could because it made me feel like I was doing something. You know, what the craziness that was happening. And so, yeah, that it's moments like that, really, with working in my community and doing my advocate work that has been the most life-changing and the most fulfilling too.
Definitely. And we can see it in the way that, you know, you're talking about it now and how passionate you are about, you know, these things and your advocacies and working with the communities. I mean, that's something that, you know, is so amazing and something that a lot of people are very thankful for. So we can't wait for all the other things that you have going on in terms of your advocacy, but also your music. We have so many things to look forward to, Catriona. So what else can we look forward to, Catriona, coming from you, especially this year?
Well, I am coming home very soon, and please watch out for Meeting Pilipinas 2021. It is happening on July 11th. It'll be showing on their official YouTube page and also on A2C. Yeah, please support the girls. What an incredible journey that they've held on to, right? Like from the whole pandemic, they've held on to that dream, and it's a dream that defined my life. So please do support them. And yeah, I'll have music coming out before the end of the year. Fingers crossed, all the timelines work. But I'm so excited to share that with you guys. And yeah, just please keep updated to my social pages. I usually put out my different organizations that I'm working with if there are any ongoing campaigns. So just please keep updated there and continue to support RYF. It's available for download on all music streaming platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, you name it, it's there. So please do continue to support and send me good prayers, guys, that our music video comes to fruition because I'm hoping talaga that is able to be shown to the world. I really am.
Yes, we're manifesting for you. It's really gonna happen. Like, it's already in my head. Like, that's really gonna happen. So thank you so much, Catriona, for joining me. But before I do let you go, do you have a message to everyone who's been supporting you and also listening to your music and just everyone who's been supporting you?
Yeah, to everyone who's tuned in with us today, thanks for spending your time with us and listening to a little bit of the story behind RYF. I super appreciate your guys' support and your support throughout my pageant journey and now supporting me in my other creative pursuits. It means so much to me. Thank you for supporting RYF and for all your messages of support and encouragement and love. It really makes my day and you guys are the best. And I'm hoping that wherever you're watching from, that you're safe and your family's healthy, and I'm sending you guys so much love.
Oh, and we are are sending you our love to Catriona. We hope that you stay safe over there. And thank you so much for joining us here on Mix today.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thanks, Mix, for having me.
Yes, we would love to have you once again. But thank you to everyone who tuned into this Myxclusive interview. Don't forget to stream RYF. It's available on multiple digital streaming platforms. And let's all manifest together that the music video will come very, very soon as well. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, of course, Catriona Gray, for joining us today. Thanks, guys.